Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a white wine from France.
Hey, welcome back everyone. Aaron here, and I am, as always, so excited to be spending my evening with two of the most beautiful, thoughtful, and kindest gentlemen in my life. Our lives, my life. How are you, gentlemen?
Well, that was really nice. And then you flubbed it.
Yeah, kind of confused now, but doing pretty well.
I maxed out my word total.
My life?
My life? Your lives? Mine, your lives too. That's good. How are we doing tonight, guys?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm just living the dream over here. Getting ready to drink this nice wine this evening. How about you, Colin? How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I do good. Yeah, we got some white Sauvignon Blanc here from France.
As opposed to our red Sauvignon Blanc from hell.
Wait a minute. You're supposed to be the one that knows what they're talking about on this podcast.
Excited to sip on this gray Sauvignon Blanc tonight.
God.
My brain just looked at the wine and died. Like, I'm not sure exactly what happened.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Well, now that we've officially confused everyone in every part of our introduction, Joel, why don't you tell us about the wine that we're going to be drinking today?
I'd be happy to, yes. Okay, so we mentioned we were drinking a white wine from France. This is the Famille Bougrier Sauvignon Blanc from 2022. This is a Vin de France, and this has an ABV of 11.5%, and we picked this up for about $13.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that region, Colin? Because I don't think we've done one from there yet.
Vin de France is kind of the catch-all phrase from a wine that doesn't fit necessarily into a region, or it might be a blend of different regions. So it's not really a region, but it is still technically a region, which is super confusing. So it just basically means it doesn't fit specifically into one region. It's just kind of anywhere from France is what that means.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you. And so I should say now that this wine is supposed to be my redemption wine after the great layer cake debacle of 2023. But I'm going to say, I'm not coming this blind. I found this wine because, once again, I'm committed to the idea of finding that diamond in the rough, so maybe this will blow up in my face. However, as I was looking through this wine, I saw this wine at $12.99 has a decanter gold medal with 95 points. And, I say as we started this episode, we were, a little skeptical of that. We did some research. We went to the decanter website. We dug in, and we seemed to confirm that this wine, in fact, this 2022 Sauvignon Blanc at $12.99, received the gold medal from Decanter with 95 points. So I'm hoping I'm coming in here. I got the backing of some experts. Hopefully I found our diamond in the rough. Or if something along the way, if Total Wine's misnaming things, they're giving the points in the wrong place, or Decanter's just giving out points all willy-nilly on some crazy wines. So we're gonna get into it with them later, because last time we had a Decanter 95 pointer. That was our that was
the Bordeaux.
Is that the Tensley?
Yeah. No, that was
the Mazeral.
Chateau. Yes,
Chateau de Mazeral.
Mazarole.
I just knew it was an M word, and that was not the snuff. That was not a 95 pointer in our opinion. So we're gonna see.
Expectations are high.
Yes, they are. And if you remember last week, I talked a bit about, this might have been 2 weeks ago, but we were talking about wine labels. And I mentioned that the more specific you get when it comes to region can kind of be a quality pyramid. Well, this wine, as we just kind of discussed, is grapes from anywhere in France. And that's not always a bad thing, but it'll be interesting to see if that kind
France is great
maps.
Grapes, I hear. Great grapes.
France does have great grapes. Great grapes.
Everywhere.
Just walk down the street. It's grapes. All right, well, I'm going to take this as a win-win situation. Either this is going to be a great situation for me. We just found a $13, excellent 95 pointer. Or this is going to be the start of just enemies with us in Decanter for steering us wrong once again. We're coming for you, Decanter. That's a whole lot of nonsense from us. Now let's actually learn something before we get into anything else.
This is the only thing you will learn.
All right.
Are we still talking about labels?
We are. Yep. Gonna wrap up labels.
Labels forever.
Three episodes of labels. I figured it is enough. I mean, come on. There's only so much information on the
No, this
label
would be
anyway.
good.
So,
Grand finale, what they call this in the label community.
that's right. Get strap in because this is gonna be next level. Man, I really setting everybody up for disappointment here. But
I'm excited.
okay, good. Yeah, to wrap up labels, there are two more important facts on there that I wanted to talk about. And one is vintage, which we haven't really defined the term vintage, but it basically just means the year the grapes were harvested. There's not really too much on it beyond that. But why is that important? When you're looking at vintage and when you're shopping for wine, not all wines necessarily are meant to age. So if you see some of your brighter white grapes, like some of the fresher styles of Sauvignon Blanc, some of your lighter red grapes, your lighter red grapes, like some Pinot Noirs, they're not necessarily always meant to age. And it comes down to the style of the wine and what the winemaker did and really their intentions. But it's kind of a good thing to keep in mind when you're looking at vintage, what grapes you're getting into and whether or not that wine is meant to age. And another indication of whether a wine is meant to age is this screw cap, like we talked about before. This one's actually under screw cap.
God damn it.
Oh, were you going to chime in with something very smart?
Like always, I remember things and I was excited because you were going to do the label and I was going to be like, and we could pair that with the screw cap knowledge. But no, Colin.
No, I'm sorry.
Everything. So
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but you're right. You're absolutely right. So just keep that in mind when you look at vintage, what grapes you're getting into. And I want to just talk a little bit about classification system or appellation system, which you really only find on old world wines in the way I'm going to talk about it here. You, of course, will find a region in a new world bottle, but you won't necessarily find a classification. We haven't really talked about classification systems yet, and I'm going to do a couple episodes on classification systems because they're actually really, really important. But some countries and some regions have specific systems beyond just region where they try to classify their wines into different buckets, let's call it, to let people know the quality. So that's another thing to look out for. Just as a quick example, sometimes in French wine, you'll see words, appellation d'origine contrôlée, and pardon my French if that's wrong. You'll also see AOC, and that is the French classification system. And then in Bordeaux, they also have the 1855 classification, which surprisingly hasn't changed since 1855. But sometimes you'll see words like Premier Cru on a Bordeaux bottle, which fits into that system. And we'll cover all of that in later podcasts because that's all really important stuff. But as far as the wine labels are concerned, I just wanted to make you aware.
Thank you for that, Colin. That was a lot of great stuff. And congratulations on being the first person ever to use the phrase, pardon my French, to actually pardon your French. That was, as you said that, I'm like, that's a phrase, and that's not how that's normally used, but it's right. So good for you.
Yeah, well, I'm sure somebody out there is cringing at my pronunciation of AOC, which I'm not going to do again. But
yeah, well, it's not me because I don't know the difference between anything.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for that. Darn you for stealing my twist off thunder.
Sorry.
And I'm proud of your French, no matter how bad it was.
Oh, you really know how to make me feel nice.
It's all I got. Okay, so we've learned something today, and we should say that was actually really timely knowledge because as we were trying to figure out if this was in fact the 95-point gold medal wine, one of the places that Colin was able to point to was the front of the label to make sure that the region on the label matched the award.
Yep. Yeah. Now it's good stuff to remember.
Fantastic. All right. So with that being said, let's get into this wine. Okay.
Tastes like wine.
It's still my favorite drop by far.
It's great. It's
It is
appropriate.
good.
It's wonderful.
Here's quality stuff.
All right. We're sitting. We're swirling. Joel and I have our level 0 noses ready to go. Colin's working on smelling, uranium and other like distant things. His wine.
Oh God.
No, I'm
I
not
hope
smelling
not.
uranium.
Jesus.
All right, so Joel, I'm gonna let you kick us off before Colin takes all the good words. What are you picking up?
Okay. I am getting honestly a lot of citrus. First off, a lot of lime. That's really kind of the biggest thing that I'm getting, to be completely honest.
The lime is pretty heavy.
Definitely some minerality in there as well. Yeah. And then I'm having to like parse through. I'm like, okay, lime, I see you. Please step aside.
Got like a margarita wine over here.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm now in my brain. I'm like, can I not put lime when I'm making a margarita? And instead, use a couple shots of this wine and just really do something special.
Revolutionary. Yeah. Revolutionary.
I would probably say no to Aaron's question about lime. But
yeah, well, you're not going to stop me. I'm going to try.
No, listen, hey, you do you, big
There's
dog.
no downside to this.
You do you.
We'll report back next episode on this can be a replacement for lime in a margarita.
I'm looking forward to that. I would also say the only other thing that I would call out here too is just like, I could tell it's going to be very minerally, and I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Minerally for days. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. What else you got, Colin? Everything I got, Joel got.
A lot of lime. I'm also getting a little bit of like green apple. This is very green, fruit heavy. And then maybe some of that classic grapefruit that you would get in a Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it is very citrus, very green. I also get just one other green note. It's a little grassy, like almost like fresh cut grass kind of, but it's not too intense. But you can sometimes see that in old world Sauvignon Blancs, cooler climate Sauvignon Blancs. You get a little bit of that green grassy note. And I pick up just a little bit of it in here. It's definitely not one of the major flavors, but it's nice. I like it.
Awesome. All right, we got a smell that Colin's level 2 nose likes. Let's give it a taste.
Whoa, I heard every step of your taste right there.
Oh,
Colin.
yeah. Oh,
I heard you swishing it around every single
That's
step.
weird.
I heard you swishing it around. I heard you swallow it.
I wonder how that's gonna translate into the
Impressive.
audio. It might just be like really weird. We'll see.
That's okay. We're fully describing it, so it's
Well,
fine.
I'm glad we captured it.
There's no mystery as to what's happening.
So the listener can choose.
Someone's like, did Colin just fall in a bathtub? What just happened? That's what the video's for. So everyone knows you're safe.
I'm not close to the bath, by the way. Just if you're not watching the video, I'm fine.
Colin, don't let me lie to you. For those of you listening, Colin does all of his pod recording sitting in the bathtub. It's weird. We try to talk about it. Yeah,
Bubble bath.
The man knows where he needs to
Candles.
be to be like the most zen and focused, and we're not gonna get in the way of his process.
I'm a
Yeah.
very casual wine drinker, so I like to be totally relaxed when I'm drinking my wine.
I love that. Future bathtub episode incoming.
Oh, no.
If you don't believe it, go check out our Instagram to see footage of Colin. Go check it out. Go follow us.
that's
Check
right.
it out. You're gonna like what you see.
StopWastingYourWine.com/bath pics.
Oh.
All right, this was fun doing our last episode. That was great. All right, what are we tasting here, people? It's not bathwater. Let's go. I mean, I'm gonna start us off being the worst at this.
Okay.
I just want to say, like, I definitely taste the lime and the citrus that we were smelling. It is there. It is very prevalent. This is a very fruit forward tasting wine. Next, everyone else besides me, go.
No, I think you're spot on. It's definitely very citrus forward. I'm getting a lot more of the grapefruit peeking through there. I have a weird thing. I don't know if this makes any sense, but
Another Disney ride incoming.
oh no.
Yeah, Joel's got it. It's like Space Mountain right before
kinda
the
like,
first drop. You get that whiff of citrus. Jackass.
Oh, from now on, I have to. From now on, I have to associate every wine with a ride. A little bit of like, I don't know, toasty or bready hint, maybe towards the end on the finish.
I mean, I don't know if I
You can tell
get
me I'm
that.
crazy.
No, no, you might not be, and it might be, you might just be more tuned into that. But I don't know about this one, but they do sometimes age Sauvignon Blanc in oak over there, so you might be right, but again, just because I'm not getting it doesn't mean you're wrong. Just you just might be
But
more.
it's not a Colin White certified toasty boy.
No, oh, this is so far from a toasty boy. No, this is
not a
this is
toasty
not
boy
it.
over here.
No, this is
just a little toast,
little. Yeah, maybe a little
barely in
toast.
the toaster at all.
Yeah, no, you can,
But in the toaster for a moment, for sure.
I don't even
Colin, what
think
do you
Colin
taste?
agrees with that. Colin's like, no way, not even, bro.
No
well,
way.
but again, who knows?
Half a
I
minute
don't-
in the toaster.
That's full blown toast.
That's a long
half minute in
time.
the toaster. Yeah,
You know
yeah,
the
that-
numbers on the toaster are minutes, right? You guys know that?
No. I heard somebody say this.
The numbers on the toaster are just minutes.
I don't think that's true.
I have a toaster oven, so I just have two little pieces of bread. One is very dark, the other one is not so dark on the toaster oven. So I just kind
Oh.
of place my knob somewhere in between.
Welcome back to Stop Wasting Your Appliance.
Hey,
We are like all over the place today.
Yeah, we've lost it. We've absolutely lost it. Okay, but back to flavor notes. Definitely get a lot of that citrus. That green apple definitely. It just kind of pokes through, and it's almost more like the green apple rind. You know, like we mentioned rind in one episode before. It's kind of more of that than it is like a really intense green apple. I do pick up a lot of that minerality that shines through quite a bit on the palate.
yep.
And then I also do, I mentioned that grassy note. I do get a little bit of that. I don't really get any toasty, but again, that's really neither here nor there. You know, you could be 100% right, but
It's very faint for me, and it's at the finish.
yeah, no, that's fair. Speaking of finish, I don't really find too much finish on this. You take a sip. The sip is actually pretty nice. You get a lot of those flavors, but then they're almost gone immediately. And what you do get left over, for me anyway, is not terribly pleasant. I don't know what it sort of becomes, but I don't love the finish. How about other structural components? How you boys feel about that?
I mean, I'm not having like a bad experience with the aftertaste. Like, I'm not having much aftertaste at all. And I think too, like maybe my experience with Sauvignon Blanc is like, you know, it's kind of the go-to white wine that people grab. And I'm not like, would you usually associate a Sauvignon Blanc with a wine that has like an aftertaste that holds and lingers like you would with a red or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends upon the wine, of course. But I mean, any well-made wine will have a nice finish.
I think I have the tendency of, if I go out and I buy like a really nice wine, I usually lean into red wine because of the reason for why I'm purchasing it, right? I'm like going out to dinner or something like that. I don't know if I've ever actually spent good money on a Sauvignon Blanc or got like a really high quality Sauvignon Blanc. I don't know. I'm reflecting on my life now, and I feel like I've wasted my wine when it comes to Sauvignon Blancs.
That sucks, bro.
Oh wow. Okay, fuck me, right?
No. I didn't know where to go with that. I'm sorry.
All right, fine. I mean, okay, so it's a pretty low alcohol wine, right? It's 11.5. So at least from like a balance standpoint, like obviously the alcohol is not impacting the overall flavor. Joel, would you like to chime in on something that Colin thinks is more interesting? Maybe talking about acidity or dryness.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was gonna say it is quite dry. I think it's pretty light, and I was gonna say acidic, but I don't think I want to say acidic. I almost more want to say like salty, which I guess would be acidic, but it's almost like a different type of thing.
Salty
I don't know if
boy?
this makes any sense. Again, it's a salty boy. We got a salt. They can't all just be whatever boy. But does that make any sense? Like almost like a little salt watery-ness to it.
I try not to drink salt water.
So what you're probably picking up is the minerality. That might be how you're experiencing the minerality. But like acidity, if you do the acid test, that sounded.
Yeah, keep going. You are an acid head. Let's go.
Yeah, that's right. If you remember from the acid episode, if you do the acid test where you swirl the wine around in your mouth and let your salivatory, how do you? Okay, so I, for some reason, can't say the glands that produce saliva.
Salivary?
Yes.
Salivary?
Yes. Salivary glands.
All right.
Yes. Thank you. So if you let your salivary glands drip, that will cue you into how much acidity. And this is a pretty high acid.
So pretty dry, high acid, low alcohol,
Light body.
light body.
Think drinks like water, which is not necessarily a knock on the wine, but it's just very, very light.
I mean, my bottle is
It's
almost empty. That's
dangerously
actually
easy.
pretty problematic. Yeah. but thank God it's not another 15% wine that we've been drinking for the past 3 episodes.
Exactly. There are some beers that are higher ABV than this wine. That's pretty wild.
A delightful change on the palate because we were just getting punched in the face with the boldness, and this is definitely not bold.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily not flavorful, but it's not bold.
So I think we have pretty much exhausted every possible word that can describe this wine. So let's jump into whether or not those words equate into us enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
All right, Colin, let's start with you. Let's get your opinion to start off. Let's go. Like, come on, come on. What do you got?
This is probably going in the closet for me. It's not terrible. I guess for the price, it's not bad. If you're comparing the price at, what was this, $12.99, I believe.
Yeah.
If you're comparing this wine to other wines at $12.99, it's probably pretty good. But like we talked about in the layer cake episode, there's better wines for like $16.99. So at $12.99, is it a bad wine? No, but it's just not. It doesn't really excite me. There's nothing exciting here. It's still varietal in nature. You know, you can still tell you're drinking Sauvignon Blanc. And some people might really like the lightness, but it's also not bad. You know, it's not out of balance. It doesn't taste gross. So I think it would be a great backup wine, especially for $12.99.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take that as a win. I'm gonna take that as a win because with the layer cake, y'all went straight to the drain, like did not pass go, knocked like $200. And I think I agree. I agree completely. I think it is a decent wine in the sense for the price point of $12.99. I view it as like a closet wine in the most positive way that you can say that. This is a great wine to like have as a backup, knowing that it's just, I want to make sure I don't run out of wine when people are over. So I just want to have some wines ready to go. And so when I go to the store, I might grab the wine that I really want to drink. And then when I'm passing this bottle, I might just grab it to toss in the back, knowing that it's not going to set me back that much. So I say like very positive closet wine.
Yeah, it's about as unoffensive as wine can get. You know, it's just kind of in its own
unoffensive closet.
It just kind of is. I mean, it's Sauvignon Blanc, but it's just not, you know, terribly exciting Sauvignon Blanc.
It's a $12.99 Sauvignon Blanc that isn't bad.
It is. That's exactly what it is. Joe?
I am going to, you know, I love to find different flavors and variations on our rating scale. So I'm going to do that right now.
Which we definitely haven't got any negative feedback about. We haven't. No one has told us that our rating scale is complicated. So please, by all means, continue.
I am going to complicate it just slightly here. I am going to put this on my patio table because if I'm going over to a buddy's house for a pool party or something like that, it's 2:00 in the afternoon, I'll put this on the table. Feel good about it. This is a nighttime situation. If we're hanging out, this is a fancy soiree. This is going in the closet. So
yeah, that's fair.
That's why, right?
Yeah.
I'm a little in the middle because depending on what I'm walking into, I could put this on the kitchen table or the closet. I am going to go ahead and say this is really just barely there, but it's on the kitchen table because if again, right setting. I mean, this is fine. This is great, and for the price point, it is not bad.
Is this a party wine? Are we landing in like this new like awards that we're popping on stuff? Like this is a party wine, like grab it on your way to a party. Like you don't want to bring like a really fancy wine to like a 40-person pool party.
I love the idea of the party wine. But I don't want to even call this a party wine because to me this is mean. This is a No. I think party wines could be cool, man. I think if we could find some CPWs, I'm 100% in.
That certified party wine?
This, 100%, of course, obviously.
Okay.
This to me is just like, this is a pool party wine. A PPW, maybe. If we could do that.
PP.
If we could have that designation, I'm in.
We're not using PPW because PP.
You might not be using PPW, but we're definitely using PPW.
And that's my review.
About
so
a DDW, a day drinking wine. This is a perfect day drinker. Like, you could bring this to a tailgate and be totally cool with it. If you wanted to drink wine at a football game, This would be great tailgate wine. Absolutely.
So I'm hearing
100%.
like, I mean, this is probably one of the most confusing reviews we've done.
It is.
But as we've started off with saying,
You're welcome.
numbers, are just like mean nothing at a certain point. So we're trying to like actually give people the setting, right? Like we're trying to give you the ambiance of this wine. And what I'm hearing y'all saying is like, this is like a great casual grab it. It's a decent, Sauvignon Blanc to just
I don't know if
have.
we're gonna say great. Yeah, decent.
Great for the purpose,
That's a
like
lot
for the
better.
purpose of just
Yeah,
like grabbing
yeah.
hang out, drink, not think too much about it, but you just like want a passable Sauvignon Blanc. It's not going to upset anyone. It's not showing off, but it's for $12.99. Just grab it and bring it with you.
It's a drinker, not a thinker.
Ooh, things are writing
Wow.
down.
Write that down. T-shirt ideas.
Absolutely awesome. All right, so
T-shirts.
I think that being said, like we don't do the formal vote. This is not a waste of your wine for the price point. $12.99. It is what it is.
That's right.
To
Go
wrap
enjoy.
up, though, decanter. Is this a 95-point wine, Colin
No.
White?
It is not.
No, that's crazy.
No, it is. It is not. 90.
Oh, you don't care about my opinion.
Oh,
Just,
no, I'm getting
just
to that. I was going to end.
gotta go.
I was actually going to end with you, Joel, but that's fine.
Oh, okay. I
You're
apologize.
fine.
Colin.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Man. So you don't care about my opinion, Aaron, which is why you're going to Joel last. I see how it is. Wow. All
This
right.
wine might make me angry. I don't know what's happening. There might be a side effect.
Yeah.
No, this isn't the 95-point wine. If this wine got 95 points, then I guess if you've never had wine before, this might be 95 points. But if you've had other
Shots fired.
Sauvignon, if you've had other Sauvignon Blanc, there's no way this is 95.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think too, like, even if it was, would this even make the scale? We talked about how, like, it's funny it starts at 80, and we were trying to figure out, like, is this the 95-point they meant? This wouldn't even be like a 90-point wine. Like, this isn't even a 88-point wine. It's just it's a wine. Just
It is a
exists.
wine.
It is
right.
wine.
It is wine.
Joel, what do you think, Joel?
That's the review.
This is the Today Show of wines. This is nobody's watching this at night. Nobody's DVRing this wine to consume later. But at 7 a.m.,
Yeah.
what the hell else are you gonna
Yeah.
watch? Am I right? So
It's on in the background. This wine is on in the background. You are
Exactly.
That's
you are
right.
cooking while
Exactly.
drinking this wine.
And you know
are
what?
reading a book while drinking
You
this
don't
wine.
hate it.
No.
And you don't hate it.
No.
And maybe The Rock comes on every once in a while, and it's interesting to see. That's about it.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Buy this wine. There's a chance The Rock might come by. That's it for this episode.
No, we can't flip that because that's not.
We
that's
promise
not
it
true.
here at Stop Wasting Your Wine.
We do not.
The 2022.
I'm gonna have the
Good
legal
God,
team
Joel, you have to
review
say the
that.
name of this wine. Help me out, man. What are we drinking again?
We are drinking the Famille Bougrier Sauvignon Blanc from
Oh
2020.
man, that was sexy, Joel.
That was very nice.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I've been working on it.
$12.99. Great price point for what it is. Go out and grab it if you want to drink something while mowing the lawn. Otherwise, please follow us on Instagram. Check out our website. The website's great. Colin is like curating all the information that we are giving and like kind of wrapping it up into these wonderful little vignettes of information. You can also listen to the episodes directly on the website. You can see the picture of the bottle so that you know exactly what we're talking about. And then as always, follow us on whatever platform you use to listen to your podcasts. Like us, leave nice words and reviews. It makes us feel happy. And share it with your friends. We really appreciate it.
And we are on Instagram at Stop Wasting Your Wine, and our website is stopwastingyourwine.com.
Thank you, Colin, for reminding me of the name. As always, everyone, thank you so much for showing up. We'll see you next time. See you later.
Vignettes of
Neither of you are going to
information.
say bye. Neither of you are going to say bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. I'm still stuck on vignettes of information.
I thought that was a nice turn of phrase. You didn't like that?
No, I liked it a lot.
I loved it. No, I
Okay.
love it. That's why I'm
Sauvignon
stuck
Blanc
on
just
it.
makes me a poet.
Yeah. Vignettes of information.